So you talked in the first panel about the comeback of the English teams, both in the Premier League and on the European level. What do you think was the main reason for this comeback in the past few years?
I think that English football, English club football, could not even be called English. It's global, right? So we have coaches and players from all over the world, all of them with a lot of quality, a lot of talent, and this has created an environment where football is developed and played in a more sophisticated way, where kids, where players are coached at the highest standard, and it shows. And I think what has changed dramatically, I'd say, in the last decade, 10 years ago, you could still say there were people in England, coaches and even players, that were relying in some sort of old-style football. And in the case of young kids, it's very important because some of the kids were judged based on their size, their physical strength, and not their talent. This has changed dramatically.
Let's talk a bit about Manchester City. We saw them this season struggle a little bit in the Premier League in comparison to the year before. What do you think happened this year or changed this season? And do you think the race for the EPL is over by now, or there's still a chance for Man City?
Well, what's happening is, I would say, normal. What is not normal is what happened last year, or the last two years, where Manchester City got 198 points in 2 years. So the Premier League is very competitive. Any team can win against any team. Obviously, we're not happy with the amount of games that we lost. We want to lose less games, but that's the nature of competition. That's the nature of football. And where we are now in December, we shouldn't be talking about where we're going to end the season. We should be going game by game. Also because you cannot switch your intensity from one competition to the other so quick, right? So if we want to win the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League, we'll have to be very intense in all the competitions, including the Premier League, regarding of whether we have a chance to win or not.
Would you say that winning the Champions League is now your number one priority?
Well, I think we don't talk like this because the Champions League is such a challenging competition, because at the end of the day you need a bit of luck. It's a knockout competition. There'll be one mistake, one player mistake, referee mistake that changes everything, right? So we don't rely on that. We want to play good football, we want to play beautiful football, and we know that if we do it, one day we'll have the chance to play the Champions League final and win it.
Last question. There are rumors about Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City by the end of the season. Can you tell us a little bit something about that? Is this correct? Or do you think this would affect the stability of the club if Pep leaves?
No, of course, and I mean, he said so many times that he has a contract that covers this year plus next year too. So there's no discussion about this. And Pep will stay, and he will leave at the right time. Whenever one day he will leave, and the club will be, and it is strong enough to survive to any change. But as Pep said many times, he's not leaving.
Do you have any plans for the winter market?
Not any particular plan at the time. The winter market is a challenging market. It's very narrow. There are not a lot of players in the market. We will see, but we don't have any specific plan.
Thank you so much. Thank you.